Why are you laughing? Why are they laughing?
And she says it back. It's kind of a different situation. I think, good luck to you, bro. But for me, that situation is done and dusted.
I really can't believe Tanya, really. I can't believe Tanya. Because given the fact that she said she loved Shaq, I can't believe she had the nerve to do that, really. Anyway, I'll talk about it later. Hey there, thanks for stopping by. It's your girl, Valerie. Welcome to my channel. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Love Island, Season 9, Episode 32. So the islanders wake up and go for their debrief. Olivia's happy, she's with her Kai 2.0, but she still misses Kai, according to her. Kai in the villa says he as well loves his connection with Sanam, although he misses Olivia, and Sanam is making it difficult for him. I think they're just saying it just for the sake of saying it. They know that Olivia and Kai are not a great couple, and they know it. And I think this is why they went to Casa Amor and explore things with other people, because they were worried that the longer they stay together, the more likely they were to sort of be eliminated, since they were in the bottom three last time. So them saying, I miss Kai, I miss Olivia, I think it's just a formality. They know that their connection is not as strong as they try to play it up, and the audience saw through that. And then, Jessie says she misses Will and she can't wait to go back. I think Jess is playing the game. I think Jess is playing the game. That's just me. I know some people might think otherwise, but I am not convinced that she is as in love with Will as she makes out. Will, on the other side, says he feels a lot better after speaking to Layla. He feels like a burden has been lifted off his shoulders, and he's moved on. Casey talks about his connection with Cynthia, and the fact that he spent a lot of time with Cynthia and he shared a couple of kisses, but he doesn't know what's going to happen. I personally thinking, I don't think the producers would allow Casey to recouple with Cynthia, unless he was coupled up with somebody else, because I don't think they would want to bring in Claudia and then immediately send her away, because she's a celebrity kid and they know they will get viewers from her being in the villa. The fact that her dad won I'm a Celebrity recently, so he's got a following. She's always talking about her family, so she will bring in viewers. So the chances of them allowing Casey to embarrass her by recoupling with somebody else are very unlikely. That's just my opinion. Shaq misses Tanya, and Shaq has really been loyal given the issues that they had with Tanya when they went to Casa Amor, and I'm really surprised that Tanya did not behave the same. Given the fact that she said she loved Shaq, I'm very surprised that she actually went on to kiss Martin, because I thought she just enjoyed flirting with Martin, but surprise, surprise, she kissed Martin in bed. And I said in my previous review that that's very intimate. You can see that all the girls are shocked when she says that she kissed Martin, because they don't understand. Because I think everybody was under this impression that Shaq and Tanya had a great connection, and so they don't understand how suddenly Tanya is kissing somebody else. We'll see how that plays out. Tom says he's enjoying his connection with Lydia, but he's struggling to sort of see how that will play out. And he really likes her, but he doesn't know whether his connection with her is stronger than his connection with Sammy. I think he's just thinking that his chances are better with Sammy, because I think he's more comfortable and more himself with Lydia. I think Lydia would have been a better connection for him, but hey, you can't force someone to like what they don't like. And so we then get Kai sitting down and having a conversation with Sanam. I really was confused about Sana when she first came into the villa, because I thought she liked Ron, and then I saw her with Casey. But surprisingly, I think Kai is the best connection for her, because as I said yesterday, she brings out a personality in Kai. He's likable, he's smiley, he's joking, which is totally different to Kai when he was with Olivia. So I really like Sana for Kai. They are talking about last night in bed, saying that, Kai is sort of flirting with the idea that Sanam enjoyed being in bed with him. And she said she can confirm that definitely last night she enjoyed. And I think I know what she means. I think little Kai must have been excited. So I really like them as a connection. I really like the fact that she brings out his personality, and we get to see a different side to the serious Kai that we saw with Olivia, Anna May, and Tennille. So I don't know how that will play out. So Ron is having a conversation with Tom, and he's sort of trying to make him understand that there is a possibility that Sammy might recouple in Casa Amor. And so he's trying to say to Tom, it might be worth your while for you to recouple with Lydia. And it's like, are you doing this from a place of love, or are you doing this from a place of competition, in the sense that the more people recouple, the less, the more all the other couples are toxic, the more perfect you look. It was, I guess it was genuine advice, because at least he wasn't encouraging the boys to kiss people, but he was just asking the guys to be honest and to be realistic with their expectations of what their partners were doing in Casa Amor. So I get that bit. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt and say he was a friend looking out for a mate, and he was trying to make sure that Tom wasn't left single if Sammy recoupled in Casa Amor. So Cynthia is having a conversation with Casey. I think Cynthia is great for Casey. I am surprised he's really not considering bringing her back to the main villa to recouple with her, because they have great conversations. Their conversations are not just, oh, how do you feel? Do you think our connection is getting stronger? No, they talk about a variety of things. They were flirting about her, her swimming, her bikini. They were flirting, they talk about a lot of things outside of just the standard. How is our connection? Do you see us working on the outside? I haven't once heard them say that. And even Casey himself acknowledged that Cynthia brings out the fun side of him. So I don't know why he's not seriously considering her to recouple with her. Then we have Tom having a conversation with Lydia. And this is the difference in conversations, as I was saying, because when you go to Casey and Cynthia, they're busy talking about everything under the sun, whereas Tom and Lydia are busy talking about, I enjoyed our kiss on the terrace last night. How do you feel about our connection? Have you made your mind yet? I'm very anxious. I'm not sure, you've made things difficult for me. I want to. And so this is where there is a difference in connections. And I really don't know. I think Tom has enjoyed himself in the villa in Love Island, because he's coupled up with a lot of people. He coupled up with Olivia, Zara, messed about with Ellie, and then went to Sammy, and now he's sort of messing about with Lydia. And it's sad that he's not giving Lydia a full chance, because I think Lydia would have made a great partner for him. But we only get to see a glimpse, so we don't know what else happens that allows these islanders to make their decisions. Tanya has a conversation with Martin. Martin is playing the game. Martin wants to go to the main villa, and it's a pity that as much of a player as Tanya calls herself, she has been played by Martin, and she can't see that. And the fact that she's sort of saying that, oh, when things were good with Shaq, they were very good, and then I saw the red flags and this, that, and the other, and it's like, what did you expect? There's no relationship that's perfect 24/7. So the fact that you would say, oh, it's a red flag, the fact that he questioned why you were kissing everybody passionately when you were in a couple with him and had told him you loved him, or the fact that you were sort of sitting him down with your friends and trying to chastise him, that's not that much of a red flag that, if you're realistic and honest, you would be able to justify. And so I don't know why she continues to allow herself to be played by Martin, because Martin is playing Tanya. I don't think he likes Tanya as much as he makes out. And I think because it's a bit Shaq was too keen with Tanya, and this is why I think she was easily put off. Whereas Martin is different. He's sort of standoffish, and sort of Tanya has to put in work when it should be the other way. Because it seems as though Tanya is the one who's grafting Martin, when Martin should be the one who's grafting Tanya. And all Martin does is he says negative things about Shaq, and then he sits back and he watches Tanya do all the work, and it's like, did you not see Ron and Lana? Why can you not seriously see that this guy is playing you? So then we get the islanders in the Casa Amor, and in the villa receive a text message today to say there will be a recoupling, and it's Casa no more, so Casa Amor is finished. It's just been 2 or 3 episodes, surprisingly. And the other thing is, there are two girls that we've barely seen anything of. We barely saw anything of Sammy after her first day with Tom, and the other lady with the dread, sorry, I don't know her name. We've barely seen her. And it makes me question, did they not establish a connection, or did the guys just not want anything to do with them? And it doesn't make any sense. I don't know why they always do this, whereby they bring in all these islanders to Casa Amor, and then suddenly they just ignore them. I don't know why. But anyway, Maya Jama arrives and asks, the Casa girls to stand up because there will be a recoupling where the boys will decide whether they want to stick with their current partners or whether they want to recouple with one of the Casa girls. And Tom looks very anxious. I don't think he's going to recouple with Lydia. I think he's just dragged Lydia on and then he's going to go back to Sammy. But hey, let's see what happens. So first to make a decision is Casey. Casey stands up. I think Casey, if I'm being honest, I think Casey was forced to recoupling with Claudia because even when he said he wanted to recouple with Claudia, he wanted to stick with Claudia. He didn't look as excited as I had seen him in the past couple of days. And so the fact that he didn't have the courage to apologize to Cynthia and tell her that as much as we had a great connection, he did acknowledge that he had a great connection with Cynthia and he really enjoyed getting to know her. I think if nothing else, Casey should have spoken to Cynthia when he was asked, do you want to stick or do you want to recouple? He should have spoken to her and said, I'm sorry, I really enjoyed our connection, but sadly, I have to stick with my previous partner. And I don't think Cynthia would have been as hurt because he gave her the false impression that he really enjoyed his connection with her and there was a possibility that he was going to recouple with her, only for him to choose to couple up with Claudia, who he had known for a couple of days, and their connection didn't seem as close as it was as with Cynthia. So I don't get why he chose to stick with Claudia. I think it might have been producer driven. Maybe they are the ones that wanted to give Cynthia more. Producers wanted to give Claudia more time, and this is why they asked him to choose Claudia because he didn't seem happy at all. And I am happy that Cynthia sort of spoke up for herself. She wasn't disrespectful or rude, but she spoke up for herself and said, we were kissing several times. I was straddling you. And then you say you didn't have anything as special as you have with Claudia. So what was I? I am hurt. And the fact that Claudia has the nerve to sit there and smile and smirk, and I have to give it to Layla for calling her out that there's nothing funny, there's no need for you to laugh, because I think even Ron was shocked when Casey was saying, "Oh, there was nothing that was as strong as what we had," and it's like you spent 75% of your time with Cynthia. If what you have with Claudia was that strong, why did you spend all that time with Cynthia? Why were you taking her everywhere? Why were you kissing her and doing all that and sharing a bed with her if you didn't have a strong connection? So I have to give it to Ron for looking at him like, are you crazy, man? Own up to your crap and just say, I made a mistake, and that's it. Next up is Kai. Kai, talks about the fact that he's managed to get a great connection with one of the Casa girls, and he knows also he had a great connection with Olivia, but he's decided to recouple with Sanam. I think Sanam was great for Kai. I think Sanam makes Kai more likable. I think Sanam gives Kai character, and so I'm happy that he chose to recouple. Olivia recoupled with Kai 2.0, and yet she was in her feelings suddenly because Kai recoupled, and it's like, ma'am, just look to your right. You have someone on your arm. Why are you upset that Kai recoupled? Keep it moving. Oh, you missed me already. And it's like, you were kissing Kai 2.0 less than 24 hours after knowing him. Keep it moving. Sit down. And everyone was shocked. All the guys were shocked at how Olivia was behaving. And I loved Will's face. Will nearly fell off his seat because he was like, what the hell? You've got somebody else. Smile and stand there. And the nerve of Claudia to be upset that Kai says he's found a genuine connection, and it's like, wait for movie night, love. See how Casey behaved with Cynthia, and then you realize that he's settled by choosing to stick with you and keep it moving. The nerve of Olivia to say she chose to recouple with Maxwell because she felt that the guys paid her a lot of attention and they made her see what the public was seeing, and it's like, did you like Kai, or were you just doing it because you felt the audience would be more likely to vote for you if you're coupled up with Kai? Make it make sense, love. Next is Ron. He chooses to stick with Lana. And Ron, surprisingly, I think his arc, if that's what the producers were aiming for, has really worked because he was flirting with Sanaa the first day, and then after that, we didn't see him with anyone else. He slept outside on the day beds with Shaq all through Casa Amor. So I'm happy for him that Lana came single. I don't know how I feel about their relationship long term. I don't want to say this is a guarantee that he's going to stay loyal to Lana because there's always the possibility that he could go back to his usual self. So we'll see how that plays out. Obviously, he and Lana recouple, and the next couple up is So next is Tom. He stands up and the difference is at least Casey acknowledged Cynthia by name. He doesn't acknowledge Lydia by name. He sort of says he did want to come in open and he wanted to test himself. I don't know why everybody says it's a test. What test? A loyalty test. What test? Sorry. What test? What, to see if you're loyal to your partner or not? That's nonsense. I really don't get it. I think they need to come up with another word because it's insulting to the Casa people because it makes them feel like they're just objects that are being used to see if somebody likes it or not. And then if they don't like it, they can return it back to the manufacturer. I didn't like that. And so he chooses to stick with Sammy. Sammy comes on her own because she was already saying Ryan was giving her the X, so I wasn't surprised. But then I like the fact that Maya Jama asked him, did you have a connection with anyone else here? And who was it? Because he hadn't mentioned Lydia by name and he had to say it was Lydia. And so in saying it was Lydia, he then, said he wanted to trust to see if what he had with Sammy was stronger, and he did. And they had Sammy, Lydia said, but we were kissing and cuddling. And you could see that Sammy was upset about that. And then I have to give it to Layla. She gave him a piece of her mind. She said, you don't need to kiss someone and cuddle someone in order for you to see that your connection is strong, because Sammy had said the same thing. And so Tom is a player, as Zara said in one of her interviews. He's making the most of his time in Casa Amor and he's going to play with as many girls as he can. And that's what it is. And there's nothing, anyone can do or say to stop that. So next is Will. Will stands up. He says, obviously, he is worried that Jesse might come back with someone, but he's chosen to stick with Jesse. And I think, if nothing else, he should have still apologized again to Layla. And I have to give it to Layla. I think because this was personal for her, she had no words. And the fact that Jessie sort of acknowledged her pain. I think this is why she did not go in on Will. And I think she must have known that Will is well liked by the viewers. So she didn't want that problem of having people sort of have their backs up and go at her. So he mentions that, he did sort of betray Jessie, and Jessie somehow is very composed. I think Jessie's playing the game. And I think she went for a safe option, and the safe option has made her look like a fool, which she might not like. So I don't know how that will play out. We'll see once the recoupling's finish. Shaq and Tanya. And you can see as soon as Shaq stands up that the girls are sort of not making eye contact with the guys because they know that Tanya is recoupled, and they're so ashamed. And the more Shaq speaks about his experience and how he's remained loyal, has slept on the daybeds, you can see the girls' faces sort of drop, and their embarrassment, their shame on behalf of Tanya. So Shaq says he didn't have a connection with anyone. Out of respect for Tanya, he slept on the daybed and he's decided to stick. Tanya walks out with Martin. Martin was playing the game. And I hate how smug he was when he spoke, because Shaq said, when I tell a girl I love her, I really mean it. And when a girl tells me she loves me, I assume they really mean it and it's time to go. And so to find out that this wasn't the case, I am really taken back. And you can see the disgust and how mad the guys are. I think the guys are going to make life in the villa very terrible for Martin. I think if it's a matter of the viewers being asked to vote for an islander and the islanders having to make a choice of who to keep, either Shaq or Martin, irregardless, because of the way everything played out, Martin is going home. I have to say that Martin is going home. Tanya says, things have not ended. And it's like, what do you mean things have not ended between you and Shaq? You have brought a new guy. You have been making out with this new guy. What do you expect Shaq to do? Do you expect him to ignore all that and just continue with you? I didn't like it. I felt really bad for Shaq. I know people have different opinions about Shaq, but Shaq did not deserve it. And even the girls from Casa Amor were shocked to see the fact that Tanya chose to come back with somebody else, because they couldn't understand why. Given how respectful Shaq had been all through Casa Amor. So I don't know how that plays out. I don't know how that ends, but I can't wait for the conversation, because Shaq said that's it. And I have to give him, he has his pride. He has to stick to his word. If she's going to get Shaq back, she has to graft. And I don't think he wants to put up with that, because she embarrassed him in the kissing challenge. She's embarrassed him in Casa Amor. I think that's it. I think they're done. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Bye everyone.